Welcome to Insight Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm Devon Jones, a military veteran turned filmmaker. I found my spark in the military, and now I'm here to help you find yours. Insight Plug is a platform for your voice, stories to be shared, and ideas to flourish. Let's dive in and plug into creativity and entrepreneurship together. Today on our show, we have Darryl Tittley. Now, this is awesome because Darryl is an actor, he's a DJ, he's a voiceover artist, he's a content creator, and he's a music producer. Darryl, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, Devon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Glad for you to join the show. Man, where should we start? Like, DJ, voiceover artist. Let's take us back to the beginning. So you
Cool.
have you navigated through these creative skills. What was your first dive into the creative world?
So I've been a DJ probably I'm from New York City. I've been a DJ probably since I was 7 or 8 years old. I've been playing around with vinyl, right? I probably have a 30,000 vinyl record collection right now. That was always my passion. But after college, I kind of I moved down to DC and I jumped into real estate, right? So I had a real estate career. It was kind of like, do I do this party and make $500 or do I flip this house, right? you know, so I kind of went that route. And I dabbled with that for a while, but I was always doing, always DJing on the side, and I was always doing some voiceover work, right? Not full time, but I was always just dabbling in it, dibble dabbling. Fast forward after the pandemic, I was still down in the DC area, and I had to move back to New York, right? So I moved back and couldn't find a job, right? So I was going to jump back into the real estate game, but then I said, you know what? Let me look at this creative stuff that I do, and let me see where I can go with it, right? So I have a cousin who's this big time actor, and since I was already doing voice work, he said, well, why don't you look at things? Why don't you look at getting behind the camera, right? So I started off. He told me what to do. He said, start doing some background stuff, and then look at commercials, look at TV, and see where it goes. So I started doing that. I started doing some background stuff, where you stand around all day and set, and you just in the background. And when I was on one of those sets, I had a conversation with somebody, and they said, have you ever heard of UGC, content creation? I said, nah, what is that? And they explained it to me. I said, oh, shit, let me check it out. So I started doing that, and that thing just took off, right? Pushing products, you know, writing scripts for the products, promoting the products. So now, you scroll on Instagram and TikTok and you see somebody pushing this product. Hey, you seen this thing here? That kind of thing.
Nice,
And that just
nice.
took off. So then I put that together with voiceover. I have a couple of gigs like on Fiverr, that type of thing. And everything just kind of meshed together. And then I also produce music. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to throw everything up against the wall, right? And see what happens. And it just took off, man. I'm so busy. It's ridiculous. I'm behind now. It's ridiculous. It's just something I wish I had done a long time ago. I wish it wasn't a thing out of necessity. You know what I mean? Because that's what it was. It was a thing out of necessity. I had to find a way to put some food on the table, right?
Uh,
So I said, you know what? And it made me think, everybody has everybody has some kind of creativity, right? It's always a thing of, oh, and in my case, when you're so used to working for somebody else, right? Even though I was in the real estate game, I was not all of it was as an agent or flipping. I was working for companies too in real estate. When you're used to working for somebody else, sometimes you can get stuck into that, right? Or you get afraid of stepping out, doing things, or doing your own thing. And then when you get out there and step out, you say, "Oh man, this is." You realize how you really realize the skill set that you have. And I have all these different things. I can produce music, I can act. I said, let me just throw this thing out against the wall. And I'm doing it. I'm loving it. That's the
that's
story.
awesome. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. All right. So I mean, no question is a dumb question, but like out of the things so far that you mentioned, what do you like doing the most?
Wow. What I like doing the most right now is I really like the content creation. I really like that
All right.
UGC piece, right? I can get through it fast. I connect with different brands, right? They send me the script, I record it, boom, and it's over. And sometimes they even ask me to put some music together. Sometimes I edit the videos myself and because I produce music, so I just drop some music
There
behind
you
it,
go.
right?
All right.
So it's a full gambit. So I love it. But I like voiceover too, right? I'm working on this audio book narration right now. It's crazy. It's like 100,000 words. It's this humongous project, right? 45 chapters. It's kind of tedious though, right? Something that big is kind of tedious, but I like it. But to answer your question, I don't know. It's a toss up. But the UGC I love. Um, yeah, let's go with that right now.
That's awesome. Well, because with the UGC, right? Because you say you can sometimes put the music on it, and then you make the music for it, and then if you
Mhm.
do the voiceover, right, you can probably put voiceover on top of that content as well. So
I do that.
yeah, you're. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I use a lot of AI tools now, right? you know, a lot of people are talking about AI. I'm like, shoot, AI has made my life easier, right? I can write a script in AI, right? I can record it. I've even used the app where they have these apps where you can just create videos. You can train it to use your voice, and then the video it'll create the video, and then since you already trained your voice, then it'll narrate the video with your voice. It's insane.
Oh wow.
I say embrace these projects, embrace this technology because it ain't going nowhere.
All
And all
right.
you're gonna do is get left behind if you don't use it. And you don't have to use it word for word, right? Sometimes you use it for inspiration, you know. So embrace it because it's not going anywhere. I know I have a lot of people they're really resistant to AI. I'm like, hey, it ain't going nowhere. So you better use it. You better learn how to use it to your advantage.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So you jumped in. So let's talking about filmmaking. You're an actor as well. Um,
Right.
have you working on any projects right now?
So on the acting side, I do some commercials. Um, yeah, I do a lot of commercials,
All right.
and I've done some videos. I just started auditioning for like feature films and that type of thing because I really just been focusing on the commercials and that type of thing. And I booked some commercials. Those are pretty fun.
Got you.
But that UGC is acting, baby.
All right. There you go. All right.
That's acting right there. But my goal really is some feature films. That's where I want to go with it.
Feature films.
And
All
then you
right.
asked me and you asked me earlier about like ideas, the behind the scenes. I have a lot of ideas. I even have some animation things that I'm thinking about doing, projects I'm thinking about doing, but I'm still learning that game. I don't really know how to get that off. I did work with a guy. We just did this short. It was pretty interesting. It was just two people, and it was about this woman on the train in New York, and it was this like demonic voice talking to her. I was the voice. I wasn't even on camera. But this guy was a film student, and this was one of his projects, right? So now we're going to try to connect and do a little something to try to bring a couple of my ideas, see if we can
That's
collaborate on
awesome.
that and try to bring some of that to life, right?
There you go.
I want
Yes.
to have some animation things in mind because you can just do so much more with animation, right? You can just go over the top with it, right?
That's true. That's
So
true.
that's what I'm looking at right now.
Nice, nice. That was networking right there too, right? So now you got a film partner. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So let's where can people find some of your work, right? So the content that you create.
So you can go to my Instagram. It's DLT Entertainment.
All right, check
Um,
that out. So
DLT Entertainment. I have one of my websites is Darryl Tittley VO, so Darryl Tittley voiceover.com. And those two things you can get. And you can get from there, you can link to some of my other sites. Like I have some stuff on TikTok, that kind of thing.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right, yeah, go check that out. Um, so your the production studio. So
hmm
how did that get started?
So, well, how did that get started? I've always been into making music, and that comes from DJing, right? So I've always been playing around with samplers and drum machines and MPCs and that type of thing. And my son, who also produces music,
Nice.
he this is a few years ago. He told me about Logic, and I jumped into
Right.
Logic. Matter of fact, we have some instrumental beats out too across the music platform, Spotify, Apple. You can check that out on Across 110th Street Productions. We have and we have 2 or 3 CDs out, instrumentals. So, like I said, we're trying to cover the whole gamut, man. Because I think we have all this talent. We might as well go ahead and use it, right?
There you go. There you go.
And I to all your listeners, I say you do the same thing. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have people in your space who will actually project negativity on what you're doing, right? And a lot of times that's because they're jealous or they envy you. Sometimes you have to move that negativity right out of the way. I've had to cut off a few people, right? Telling me I can't do this and I can't do that. I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll talk to you later and I'll circle back. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, take those creative juices and use them, especially now. I mean, everything's so accessible. YouTube, I do I have a couple of YouTube channels out there where it's a crime channel where I jump in and do, not just me, but I jump in and do some narrations on different crime stories. We're trying to be all over the place.
Nice. All right. So you said earlier, so animation, that seems to be where you want to go at next. Is that
Right.
what you got in the works?
Well, I have an animation project in my mind that I want to work on.
All right.
That I think it would be hilarious. It's just about living in New York City and and all the craziness you deal with it. And if you can animate it, you can do a whole lot with it.
All right.
You know.
Nice. So speaking of animation, let's share something about you. What's your favorite animation? Like, what's any of your cartoons that you like growing up? Something that you even watch as an adult?
I like stuff on Adult Swim channel. I like the Boondocks,
All right.
the PJs, stuff like that, over the top stuff,
All
right?
right. Nice.
Yeah, those, I love those. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now, when it comes down to those animations, now, what is it that you would say that draws you to that animation? Because we know the voiceovers are like really known stars, and it's really like interesting on the Boondocks. Is Regina King? She plays several voices, and that's
Right.
like talented. And then you have on the PJs.
Right.
Is it Eddie Murphy? Right. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you have Eddie Murphy. So you have 2 different genders and then 2 different style of like voiceovers. Like,
Right.
how would you break those down to those viewers out there who's trying to like navigate an animation? Like, okay, what is it about this animation that like that's drawing me to it? Is it drawing the animation or like the voices of the voiceovers?
It's what's drawing me to it is what you can do with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, to give you what you're from New York, right?
I'm from New York. Yep.
So you understand. I'll give one piece away. You understand the parking situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I live in Harlem. It's ridiculous parking,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes if I
It's
drive
worse
home
where
at
I'm
night,
from. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that.
I can drive around for an hour before I find a spot, and then by the time I find a spot, I'm so far away, I got to jump on an Uber to get home, right?
Mm.
Who wants to deal with that, right?
Yep.
So I can animate something like that. Like I'm sitting here waiting for a spot, and there's just so many people waiting for this one spot, right? And I'm in the car talking to my friend, and we're not really paying attention. And this guy pulls out the spot, and all of a sudden, all these cars just start coming out from nowhere, stacking, falling out of the sky, all because they all want this one spot, right? You can do that in animation. You can't do that live, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Off the top like that.
All right. Nice.
Off the top like that, and things like one time we had a couple of people that it was crazy. We had this, and I'm not knocking homeless at all, but a guy had came in on the block, and first it was a mattress, and then on the corner he had a bunk bed, chilling, right? He was like, wow, right? Taking a whole lot of space, and then we had my neighborhood with my block. We actually we were trying to figure out what to do, so we had a Zoom call. We were having a Zoom call, right? The animated part of that would be, say, the rats in the block who also feel like their space got invaded. We got a Zoom call with the neighbors and the rats, right? And we're all talking about this situation, right? So that kind of that's kind of animation.
Yeah, I get it. That's unique. I like that.
If
So
anybody out there wants to collaborate, get at me.
yeah, oh, definitely. Hey, you're right up my alley at the similar time. But also, any animators out there that's listening, any directors out there, definitely, check them out. All right, check them out. Hey, so also animations, right? So let's bring it back a little bit. Not trying to age anybody here. Bebe's Kids.
Oh yeah, I remember
What,
that. I
what,
forgot about that.
how do you feel about that one?
I love that one. What was my man's name? That died. What was his name? We
Oh
just
man,
talking about him the other day. You know what I'm talking about though, the
I do,
lead character.
I
Yeah,
do.
he was hilarious. Yeah. I used to love
Robin
Baby's Kids.
Harris. Robin
Robin Harris,
Harris.
right,
Yes,
right,
yes.
right, right,
Robin
right,
Harris.
right, right, right.
Rest in
And
peace.
I'm attracted to voice narrators because I tell you, I have a cousin that's a big. You ever heard of Keith David?
Keith David.
Keith David, yeah, he's a big actor, big voice actor, and he does a lot of animation, right? He does voices like the gargoyles and
My cousin used to
like
watch Gargoyles. All right.
he does,
Shout out to
yeah,
Keith
yeah,
Davis.
yeah. He does a whole lot of stuff, man. You ever seen that? What's that show? Remember that Oprah Winfrey show where it was the church? She had that church. It was on Oprah Channel. It was a church thing. Have you seen? Remember that movie with Ti?
Oh, is it the one with Denzel?
No, not that one. It was the one when they were down south and they were doing a lot of roller skating.
Oh, it's the one with Bow Wow, I think. Is it?
Huh?
Is it with Bow
Was
Wow?
Bow in that one? No, he wasn't in that one. He wasn't in that one. But anyway, I ain't gonna talk about that too much
All
more.
right.
But Google Keith David, you'll see it all over the place. Anyway,
All
he's
right.
my first cousin, and he's the one that told me, yo, you know what? Since you doing the voice thing, check out behind the camera, see how that works.
Nice.
So he kind of like
Hey, there
inspired
you
me.
go. I
Yeah.
love this, right? So you got two plugs. The first one they told you check out the content creators, and that went
Mhm.
great. And then
Yeah.
Keith David,
Yeah.
just told.
Yeah. Because it was. I had no idea, right? And you never know where it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed when I was doing all this background stuff, right? You're around a lot of people. You're around producers, you're around directors, you're around people, other people on the set. You just talk to people, right? A lot of it is networking. Networking. Go to networking events. I don't even go to too many of those. I should, but a lot of that was just being on set. I like to talk to people to find out what they're doing, and I don't talk to them just because I'm looking for connects. I'm just interested to find out what you're doing and what's out there. Because it's not like you can just they don't teach this stuff in school, right? I guess they have filmmaking class, they have acting classes, but as far as where to go and how to take your career, if you're not familiar with it, sometimes you just have to talk to people and find out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. Nice.
So get your networking on too.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
So earlier in the conversation, you mentioned AI and the technology. So, where do you see filmmaking going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh man, I don't know. That was a big thing during the strike, right? One of the issues were as far as the background is concerned. I think they've been doing that for a couple of movies already, where they don't need actors for background. They can just use AI to fill all that in. So that was a big issue during that last strike. Um, and they did some. What was that movie? I don't remember what movie it was. It was a. Don't remember what the movie was, but I know it was involving one of the characters that played Superman that died, and it was the Flash, the most recent Flash movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a piece in there where I guess he went back in time, and they used AI to recreate the character that plays Superman, right? Because he went back into because that's all DC Comics, and they did that without the family's permission, anything like that. So it was a kind of a big battle because the family was like, "You can't do that," and they were like, "Oh, we got the rights to it. We can do whatever we want." So they took his image and recreated. He, had him doing something else that he didn't do in the original movie. So basically, and they used
Gotcha.
AI to do that.
Yeah. Oh man.
So, and it's crazy because I think it's going to be a problem because it's going to be out of control. I have people that come to me all the time. They want to clone my voice, right? They want me to pay me a little bit of money and give me the rights to give them the rights to clone my voice. I'm not doing that. I mean, not for that little money. You bring me a nice payday, I might think about it, right? But no, I'm not doing that right now.
That's interesting. I mean, because if they can do that with the characters to make the characters do whatever they want, imagine what they can do with your voice, make your voice say whatever they want.
They
That's
already they, they already have AI apps out there that can do that. It's crazy.
oh man,
It's nuts.
yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, well, maybe we have to start licensing or something to where you have
Yeah.
to get the rights to your voice and your appearance. All right.
They even have music. They even have music apps like that. You can say I forget the app. You can go to this site and say make me a beat similar to whatever, and boom, spit the beat out. It's like what the hell? I've used ChatGPT writing lyrics. I said, you can put in ChatGPT, write me a rap song based on whatever the artist is, here's the topic, and that thing will spit out an intro, hooks, verses, right? And sometimes they all right. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Sometimes they kind of corny, but some of them be like, well, I could use that. So your technology is out of control.
Mhm. Interesting. All right. So here, so just to help out the audience, right? So since you have a lot of creative skills, right? So here's that kind of like questions on like both sides. What is something you do to balance yourself from all that creative work, and then what is something that you do to stay inspired, like to keep that creative drive when you do need it?
Well, right now, I have no balance, unfortunately, because I'm just always working, right? I was up to 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why you remember we were supposed to connect before. I completely forgot about it because I had a deadline on this
It's all
book.
good, right? It's good busy.
Um, but I stay inspired. I think I stay inspired because there's so many different arms that I'm dealing with, right? So there's so many different, you know, genres that I'm dealing with: voiceover, content creation, music, that type of thing. I want to focus more on music, but this other stuff is just kind of taking over. So that's kind of where I am right now. I would like to eventually move that back a little bit, and get back on the more of the music production side. I still do it, but it's really like I have a Fiverr. I have a Fiverr account. For those of you who know what Fiverr is, it's a site, for entrepreneurs, people, and they promote their business, right? Whatever it might be. Yeah, I mean, it could be any production skills, resume writing skills, AI tools, whatever it is, website design, music, voice, and you create a platform, you create your site, create your profile, I should say, and put your skills out there. People contact you, and that's actually been pretty profitable. You just using Fiverr and another one called Upwork. Using those two sites to go ahead and put your and for those who don't know about that, Fiverr is Fiverr. Check it out .com, and you can see what other people are doing, and then you say, oh, I can do that. I have those kind of skills. You'd be surprised. Go out there and put it up there and see what happens.
There you go. Check those
Mhm.
out. Check those out. All right. So your production studios, you said it's called DLT Entertainment.
That's my
S-
that's, yeah. Well, that's my IG.
that's your IG. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's the
Umbrella
production
is
company?
Umbrella's DLT DLT Productions.
DLT Productions. All right.
Mhm.
So would an artist come to you that's looking? What would they come to you for? Would they get their screenplay from you?
Not a screenplay. They can come to me for music,
All right.
beats, right? Screenplay is not something I want to get into, but I haven't crossed that space yet. But if artists want to come to me for music, I can do that. If anybody had a product out there that they wanted to push and promote, I can kill that, right? You have a lot of people out there that they do affiliate marketing, or they have a product that they want to sell, um, and they need it promoted. I do that. I do that for real estate agents. I do it for um, different products. I have like 100 different products here that people send me, and I just I create the video, I promote them. Yeah, so and on top of that, you know, something else I'm getting ready to if I ever have any time to do it, but I can do it now with these AI tools, right? I have about 15 years of real estate, right? Residential and commercial. So we're getting ready to put up a website YouTube channel, Everything Real Estate, right? A lot of people are doing it, but we're talking about, like, one of the things we're going to be doing is talking about how different ways to invest in real estate that people don't know about. Everybody knows about buying a house, flipping a house, renting out a house, that type of thing. But people don't know what about REITs, and they don't know about what they can do with commercial and that type of thing. So we're working on that as well. But what I have learned to do, because I can't do everything, is to delegate stuff, right? And Fiverr is a spot that you can do that. You can find people who can do these things for you, right? And they can build the website, they can do that, while I'm doing something else. So,
That's
and then with
awesome.
these AI tools, man, when it comes to real estate, I can create a real estate video, right? I can just put a topic in, about the subject. Let's talk about, show me a video of 5 ways to invest in commercial real estate, right? Put that in the tool. That thing will spit out a whole 10-minute video, right? With narration. And you didn't do a thing. It's technology is crazy, man. Crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for
Use your
sharing that.
technology.
So
Yeah.
artists out there, if you need some music, right, you need those beats, right? Check it out. I'm gonna put the link to if you have a link to your website. You guys have a website. I'll put it at the end of the interview. And we'll link that so you guys can check that out. All right. So we're almost there. So usually I ask this question to all the guests. You kind of got part of it because we talked about the animation. But what will be a TV show or a film that you recommend to new filmmakers to check out?
Ooh. TV show or film? Wow. I don't know. A lot of that might depend on what they're trying to do, what they're trying to shoot, right?
All right. So let's narrow it down to animation genre.
Animation. I like what is that channel we just talked about? I just mentioned it earlier. What was that channel? That network.
Oh, was it the Adult Swim?
Adult Swim, yeah. That you see a lot of stuff on Comedy Central. Just to be again, it depends on what you want to do. If you're looking at some comedy stuff, that's just like off the top, right?
All right. So could you give us one classic and one present?
Classic, I would go with Boondocks.
Boondocks, all right.
Present, what's
And
that
also,
one?
if you don't mind sharing, if you can throw some actors and actresses' name out there from the Boondocks, just so audience can be, because it's like you got the Boondock Saints, right? So you don't want them to get confused if they're looking for Boondocks and
Right. What was some of those actors? Wasn't Regina King in that?
Yep.
Regina King. I don't remember too many of their names.
You got the granddad.
Yeah, that and the PJs. The PJs too. PJs and the Boondocks.
All right.
Yeah,
So the granddad was John Witherspoon.
That's my guy.
Very, very good, talented
that's
actor.
what I'm trying to think of. That dude's hilarious.
Yes. John Witherspoon.
Yes.
All right, Regina King. All right, and then you got the PJs with Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yep. Present, I haven't watched too many. I watched this one. They have this one out right now where they're doing Good Times. Have you seen that? You know about that one?
Yeah. I know. I heard about Good Times.
Animation. A lot of people upset about that. Even the old Good Time players, but it's hilarious, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember.
See about that.
I don't know if you remember Good Times from back in the day, but this one they got a baby. It's like they got a baby in it, and he's like a drug dealer. It's crazy.
Oh man,
it's hilarious. So check that out. It's
right.
animation.
Where is that playing at?
I don't remember what network that's on.
All right.
I don't. It's streaming. That's another thing when it comes to about creativity and all this stuff. It's so many channels, man. It's all these streaming network. You never know where your stuff can wind up. It's so many opportunities out there, right? Because you have all these different networks. It's not like it was back in the day. We had a few. Even when it was just cable. Now it's streaming. Anybody and their mother can start a streaming channel, right? So I say again, All you creators out there, jump in, don't look back.
All right. There you go. He said it right there. He just took the words right out, took the question right out of my mouth. All right, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning into Insight Plug. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it inspiring. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and every creator has a story worth sharing. If you love what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on insightplug.com. That's www.insightplug2gs.com. Your feedback helps us bring you more content. Until next time, keep creating. Devon Jones signing off. Stay inspired. Darryl, thank you so much. Glad to have you on the show.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the invite. Take it easy.